Alright, everybody.
Just do it!
I just want some silence in the room, everyone. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking to Alex. Man, stop playing this stuff. I'm trying to talk, my friend. You know, we got the...
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Alex.
Well, that one was at least appropriate. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Adrian, and that's my co-host, Alex. And today, we're on the Unknown Games Podcast, episode number 37. It's a wonderful day over here in Tokyo, and yeah, you heard it. That P4 Golden, that beautiful song. That was P4. That was from P4, right? No.
I'm P5.
Dang. Well, I failed a lot of my classes in gaming history, but I still try, and that's what's important. We hope you're still trying, and we're glad that you're still here listening to us week in and week out. And yeah, we had a bunch of cool stuff happening last week in the world of games. Of course, you know, P4 Golden got announced for Steam. Alex, you know, he's already on that day one. And then, of course, you know, the big event of, you know, PlayStation 5, little thing called that. And then there was a PC gaming show, but mainly the PlayStation 5 was unveiled, and it's fat, it's big, it's something that we'll also talk about on this show today. So first of all, we're going to start off with P4 Golden, and then we're going to walk our way on over to the PlayStation 5 conference and talk about that and everything that was revealed there. So let's start without any further ado. Alex, how was P4 Golden?
It's P4 Golden. It's good. I mean, you're asking how is it as a video game, because it's a very good video game. But...
I've heard the stories. So like for me, okay, so I think we were talking about it before the announcement. I think it was a week before.
It got like leaked or something, and there's a lot of evidence saying that it's going to be on PC, and I almost didn't believe it at the time because it seemed too good to be true.
Right.
Yeah, but as the week went on, there's just like more and more mounting evidence that it was going to come to PC. Like someone found on SteamDB, like they found assets for P4 Golden. Like when you have the game in your library, you have like a little icon or whatever, right, of the game.
Right.
Like those icons had leaked, like on SteamDB, which is like a website for tracking like updates to video games and stuff like that.
Right, and so we weren't like surprised by it, but I still think a lot of the internet, and including yourself and even me, I mean, like even to like see it on the Steam store, and it was, you know, it was the headline banner, you know, like
today, if you open Steam today, it's just like Persona 4 Golden is, you know, the headlining game, which is
headlining game.
It's pretty crazy because it's an old game. It came out on the PS2 in like what 2008, 2000 and something like that, right?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And then it got a re-release on the Vita as Golden with extra content, extra dungeon, new character, new social links, new personas. And then, like 8 years later.
And then it got an anime somewhere in there.
Oh, it got 2 animes, yeah.
It did get, that's right, it did get 2. And I think I watched the first version, the first anime, just P4 the animation.
Right.
Which I enjoyed. Honestly, it gave me like the fulfillment of like I almost had played the game because it sticks really.
It's really close. Yeah,
it's really close. So I was just like, okay, well maybe I don't have to actually play P4 if I want to, and I actually bought P4 back on. I think it was like PS3, but not Golden. But now
the digital version, right, of the PS2 game. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the digital version. But now, yeah, I can buy it again, and it's a perfect price. It is really
it's so cheap. It's so cheap. Yeah,
it's cheap. I literally debated because it's always going to be, I think it's almost $20 or something is the price.
It's 20 USD.
Which is cheap. I mean, it's impulse buy.
The perfect price. Yeah, I was prepared to drop $40-$50 for it, but then when I saw that it was like 20 American, I was like, oh yeah, no brainer.
It's a no brainer.
Instant buy. I didn't even hesitate. I was like, add to cart, checkout.
Well, I hesitated because I hesitated only because I have other games that I'm more than likely going to be playing before P4 Golden, like other RPGs that I'm kind of going to want to get to, but it's still $20, and I don't even care. Here's the weird thing: I don't even care if it goes on sale. That's not something that was even in my mind. I'm just like, dang, this is the jam.
Yeah, and I mean, like, at least in Japan, where we are right now, like, P4 Golden is not a cheap game. It's only on the Vita if you're talking about console versions, right?
Right.
If you want to pick up P4 Golden on Vita used, you're gonna spend like at least 3,000, 4,000 yen. Like, it's still not cheap. It's like almost an 8-year-old game, and it's
and you
not
still
cheap
gotta
at
find
all
a Vita
because
too.
yeah, it's like the best Vita game.
It is the Vita.
So the fact that this is selling for 2,000 yen equivalent, which is cheaper than the Vita version, it's a steal. Honestly, it's so good. And
So
aside, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, so what's different in the Steam version as opposed to actually just what is the Steam version? What can you tell me about the Steam version? What did they add? What makes it the definitive edition?
So the three main differences is it's running at a high resolution. You can set the render scale to 200% max, so it's rendering internally all the assets at double the size.
Okay.
And then it'll just look really sharper. It's like super anti-aliasing basically.
Okay.
So you can change the render scale, and it supports up to 4K resolution. You can just output it at 4K.
What? Why?
Yeah.
Part of me is asking why. I mean, it's just why? Okay, just cause.
I don't know. It looks really good. Well, that's debatable for reasons, but and it has a high refresh rate. If you really wanted to play Persona 4 at like over 100 frames per second,
just like
it supports it. You can do it. Yeah. So it has high refresh rate, high resolution. And a big one for a lot of people is it has dual audio. You can do Japanese voices or English voices. And then for text languages, like the menus and the subtitles and everything, you can do English, Korean, Chinese, or Japanese.
Oh,
so
dang.
four different sets.
That's
of
really
languages.
nice. I know, especially if you're trying to learn Japanese, and sometimes we've talked about this in the past on the podcast. If you're trying to learn Japanese, and this is a great way, it's you can put it on English and then have the Japanese subtitles, or vice versa, just to kind of get a little bit deeper understanding, because Persona itself in the series, especially like 3 and 4, and I guess 5 as well, like they're pretty good representations of going through a normal day of life, just
well, except for fighting shadows, yeah,
except for fighting stuff
like that, but sure.
But at school, it's you got to choose your links. Society.
Yeah, I actually bought Persona 4 Golden twice. I bought it in English when I played it through my first time, and then I bought it like last year or something in Japanese because I wanted to play the game in Japanese just for the practice and just to be like, hey, I have it in Japanese, and I wanted to hear the Japanese voices. Little did I know, if I had just waited 1 year, I would have been able to just buy the PC version, which is both versions combined essentially.
Straight up, like, little did I know.
Yeah, I bought it on Vita in Japanese and didn't finish it. I started the game, didn't really get too far. So I could have just waited, saved myself a bunch of money, but who would have known that this would be on PC?
No one. I mean, there's some Atlus games that are on the Steam store, and I think we were talking about done by, I guess, published by Sega, or like through Sega, or like their Sega games kind of.
Well, the only other one I think is Catherine. It's just Catherine and Persona right now. Okay.
And hopefully, my hope is that we get Persona 3, and then of course P5 and all the other Persona, and even Shin Megami games. I think a lot of those games have kind of fallen on the wayside in terms of the non-hardcore fans who don't know those series. I think they're pretty much good for a remake now.
I think well, I just don't know how much work that'll be, because like Golden is a Vita game, so I'm assuming they took the Vita code and then ported that to PC. When you take something like P3, which is a PS2 game, I don't know the work that goes into porting that to PC. Like, I don't know if it's a lot or not a lot.
If we're in kind of a like FF7 remake, well, not remake situation, but more. I mean, it could even be a remake situation, but I feel like it would be more like a remaster, just like Shadow of the Colossus and things like that. But how much work that would take for these 100-hour games?
I just don't know how difficult it is to port that code. Like the PS2 has I'm sure it has quirks and stuff. Like I just don't know how if it's easy to bring that over to PC. Like, yeah, you can emulate it. Like, I know some people might just be like, oh, it runs fun on my emulator, runs fun on my emulator, and I'm sure it does. Like, I know it does, but like,
Right.
when it's running natively as a PC game, is it hard to get that out? Yeah, so
That's a good question. I mean, we do have the dot hack games. I think those are the only
oh
ones.
yeah, you know
really?
what? That's
Like,
a good point actually. Yeah, because Dot Hack is it's a PS2 game. You don't have it on PC, right?
no, I almost bought it. Almost.
Yeah, I have it on PC. It's not a great port, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
It runs fine. It runs okay, but like it has quirks where like the buttons aren't configurable. Like it just doesn't
just
have the
translate?
forethought. It doesn't have the forethought of a PC game behind it, which is like customizable keybinds and changing screen resolutions and frame rates and VSync and stuff like that. Whereas P4 Golden actually, I think, is a very competent PC port where it has the considerations that most PC gamers would want. You can rebind your controls. It has VSync and an individual render scale, so you can render 200%. Has a high frame rate support, so it's a lot nicer.
Yeah. And I was gonna actually ask you, for anyone who's thinking about trying to get into Persona 4 Golden, I know it's pretty much instant buy. I mean, anywhere you look, this game has crazy good reviews. What would you recommend for them? Like, what would you recommend in terms of their starting their Persona life experience? Do you have any tips, just in general, like for the series or for this game specifically?
Um,
Like maybe how would you approach mindset?
if you were brand new to Persona,
Yeah.
like, and you just hear all this hype, it's like, oh, it's the best JRPG since a while. Just get Royal. Honestly, just get P5R if you have a PS4.
Just get for 5R. Just skip this one.
Yeah, just get the newest one, because the newest one it's the newest one. It has all the considerations. Like it's polished. Let's say it's like really well polished. It's just a very 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 good video game. P4 Golden like is a great game, has a good story, and it really hooks you. But like, I don't know how I feel about telling a brand newcomer to the series to jump on Golden, because I had the privilege of building up to P5 to go from 3, 4, 5. So I got to see how the game
It's kind of evolved.
got better in ways that you might take for granted. Like in P3, for example, a vanilla P3, you can not control your party members. They're not controllable. You cannot direct control them.
Really? Okay.
So the ability to like actually take control of your party members was introduced in P4.
P4. Okay.
And then that got kind of reversed ported to P3P when they did the re-release of Persona 3 on PSP.
PSP? Okay.
And so that was a feature that was a brand new feature at the time. And then P5 in its own right adds a bunch of extra features that aren't in the older games.
So essentially you might want to kind of walk it down, because like these games don't connect to each other.
They do.
They do?
Yeah.
What? Wait, no. Wait, seriously they do? Wait,
Yeah,
like
for real,
P3,
yeah.
4, 5, like there's a connection, like story-wise?
P3 and 4 absolutely 100% are connected. Like even like in the fighting
What?
games, like they meet each other and they like and they like talk to each other. It's very P3 and P4 are in the same canon. P5 is debatable. I mean, I don't want to get into the lore discussion with you, especially because you haven't played them.
Yeah.
But
that's
P5
okay, never mind. That's
is-
cool. So
P5 is probably in the same universe.
if you want to be on the safe side, or not even a safe side, I guess just go with P5, get the best of the best, and then walk it back down P4, 3.
Yeah,
Where can
but
you
I
get
mean, like,
P3 at
you just have
right
to keep
now,
in mind
actually?
that, like, yeah, you're going back in time. You're jumping 10 years in the past in terms of video game design. So, like, the models and the environments, they're not going to look as smooth. You have to understand it originally came out on PS2.
And yeah, I guess your only option is either to get a PS2 or get the PSP version. I don't know if you can play P3 on Vita. I don't know if it's
You can play
like
P3P on Vita if you
P3P,
download
right?
the digital version.
Okay. So those are pretty much your only options, unfortunately, of getting Persona 3. I don't know about the animation. I haven't watched that.
Oh, the movies?
anime.
Yeah, the movies
The
follow the
movies?
story kind
Okay,
of closely. Yeah.
So then maybe you can just, if you don't want to play, but just kind of like get the feel of how A and B and then C kind of, relate and kind of chill together. You can just do it that way.
Yeah. I mean, But I would also recommend Golden. Like if you don't want to jump into a full price game, you're like, oh, I don't want to spend 50 $60 on this JRPG that I might not enjoy, but I will spend $20. Go for it. I mean, you only have $20 to lose, and maybe a couple hours if you don't like it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's a win or win. I mean, I like you said, you're not walking out with a huge loss, so
Yeah, so
it's a good
the
thing.
stories are connected, but they're also self-contained. So if you only play four, you're going to fully enjoy the story. Like it is the same canon, and you're gonna miss out on a couple references. Like some characters you'll meet. There's a point in four where you go back to the city that P3 takes place in, and it's
Okay.
like 1 or 2 years after the end of P3.
Oh, nice.
And then if you had played P3, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Like that's you. You're the person from that time. But if you have no idea what P3 is, you're like, oh, I'm in another city for like a couple weeks of in-game time for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
It's just like another destination that
Yeah.
you just
So,
kind of miss that little connection. Okay. Okay.
but if you do decide to like jump headfirst into this wild story, it's all connected. So 3, 4, and then the fighting games are canon. Like they're part of the
Oh,
canon.
what was that? P4 Arena, right?
P4 Arena and then P4 Arena
Ultimate
Ultimax or
Alpha
something.
Max
Yeah.
or Ultra. Yo, Arc, just give us some good names, man. Just give us some legible names, legible, readable, pronounceable names. One day.
Anyways, yeah, you should keep an eye out on it. Like you should maybe consider getting Golden. Like you haven't even played Vanilla P4, right? I would say
No.
don't bother. Just play the PC version.
It's not even worth it for me to even try to go find A, to go buy a Vita, and then B. I mean, I look. The only reason I want a Vita is it would be like, okay, I could play this, but then I could also play Muramasa.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
Right.
one day we'll get a PC port of that too. Who knows? One
I
day.
mean, maybe. I mean, if there's one thing that I hope changes because of this, like right now as of recording, P4 Golden is like the most concurrently played JRPG on Steam right now, not counting MMOs like FF14.
Okay. Okay.
So it is like the most played JRPG right now. So I hope Atlus is taking notice. I hope Atlus is like, oh, people like our games on PC.
I hope that they know that there's so many people who love their games but don't own consoles or don't own, portables or something like that. And
Yeah, and then you
would
have
like to play it.
people like me. I'll buy your game twice. I bought Persona 5 Royal on PS4. I paid full price for it. If you put that game on PC, I'll buy it again. Like I just prefer to play my games on PC for
And-
the reasons I listed already, like the refresh rate reasons or the render scale or I really like that.
And we talked about it earlier, just like the fact that all of your library, for the most part, will kind of still be with you. You know what I mean? It won't get phased out the next console generation. Like we're having this conversation. Like the only way to play P3 right now is to go back and literally get another console, another system.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think what you were talking about in terms of Atlas noticing that their games are beloved. I think hopefully this will also have a lot of the other Japanese publishers that aren't on Steam at the moment or just have kind of dabbled a little bit. Maybe they'll hopefully take notice and become a little bit more, conscious of trying to put out good ports on the PC or developing alongside with PC and trying to just serve that market as well. I think it's a good thing overall.
Yeah, I really hope PC gaming kind of gets its second win here because
Yeah.
like I want, like really good games like this, like really good experiences. So it's just nice to see this kind of experience available to more people and in a way that I prefer, like being able to play this at 4K at like because it's a Vita game, like just the fact that it's like no longer at 720p, now it's 4K, like that's a hell of a jump.
Yeah, that's a huge jump. And I guess speaking of jumps, we can jump on over. If you don't have anything else to say on P4 Golden, or you want to leave a last word, to leave with the listeners on P4 Golden.
I don't know. Like if you haven't played Persona, like give it at least a consideration. Like maybe just look at it. It's really good.
That's the tagline. Just look at it.
It's really good. Yeah,
good.
just look
It's
at
really
it. It's
good.
really good.
So it's like a Big Mac or something. Just look at it. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
That's a good tie for the show's episode title. It's really good, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna hop on over to the PlayStation 5 unveiling slash kind of direct style digital delivery for us that we watched. That was, I think, what, about an hour long last
Oh
Thursday,
yeah, I
Friday
was
for
sleeping.
us.
That was 5 in the morning for Japan.
I
I
don't
was,
even
and
know.
on a Friday I had work, so I was like, no, I'm gonna
No,
sleep.
no. My friend was like, "Yo, dedication." I'm like, "Dedicate? It's 5 in the morning, bro. No,
Yeah,
we
good
got work."
night. I'll check
It's
this in the morning. Yeah,
if it were like 2 a.m. or something, I could stand to kind of try, but
yeah. Not 5.
not 5. But yeah, so we started out the show, and Sony, they had a lot of games to show. I think it was almost like an hour and a half. I felt like, of games that they just kept showing straight, and we had a lot of a lot of AAA titles, big titles at the beginning and the end, and we'll talk about those, and then we'll kind of maybe talk about the middle of the show / the unveiling, and then in the middle were a bunch of indie games. Did you watch the show, or did you just watch a summary? Like, did you
Oh,
watch the
I didn't watch
recap or
anything. I
anything?
woke up and I just got the cliff notes of it. I just just read the news.
Yeah, yeah. So I watched it, not live, of course, like we were talking about, but I went back and watched it, and I was really surprised. So we started out with some heavy hitters. Of course, we had the Grand Theft Auto 5. The most
Yeah, for
random
the
thing
fourth
ever.
time. Awesome.
That I don't know why someone at
Yeah.
Sony thought that was something that people wanted. I know it's like a pimp for uh for PlayStation Plus. Like, hey, you can get this and get 1 million Grand Theft Auto dollars up until the game's released on PS5. I'm just like,
I'm pretty sure you get that same deal on PC. The PC version also gets that kind of money.
I just
There's
I
just
was
no like
baffled.
re-release of the PC version, so that's not an exclusive to Plus.
It's
Yeah, so
weird.
go on twitch.com or twitch.tv. Sorry, go to twitch.tv, and
Okay.
as of add part of the Twitch
Oh,
Prime loot,
Twitch Prime. Oh,
it says get up to 1,000 GTA dollars each month you play GTA Online. That's there you go. It's the exact same deal, but for PC.
oh my word. Well, that's yeah. It was strange. Even stranger was the fact that the kind of trailer reel, the montage that they start out with before the show starts, after that unveiling or announcement for GTA, was Kratos from God of War 3. I have no clue why God of War 3 Kratos was even in a trailer, period. But I guess it was like, hey, we're celebrating history. Because after that, it's immediately just God of War remastered, like, the remake or whatever we call it, that version of Kratos. It was kind of weird. I'm like, anyways. But, we had Spider Man, Miles Morales. That looked hype. And I got to say, I just finished watching Into the Spider Verse like 2 times, like just
Oh
back to
yeah.
back.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, yo, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. And they did confirm that it is a standalone game, so you don't have to worry about it being like some like mini game or just like a DLC kind of thing. And after that, my homies Ratchet and Clank, we called it. We called it. Or I was
Well, I
I
mean, you
was
called it.
I
Yeah.
was so happy. Rift Apart, Insomniac doing it big, and I'm so hyped because I finished Sunset Overdrive, and now I'm back on my Insomniac kick. I love Ratchet and Clank. I've always loved Ratchet and Clank. I think the only ones I haven't played are A Crack in Time. I think it's just A Crack in Time, yeah. So I just need to play that. I own it, so I should just go play it. And yeah, that showed off a lot of the SSD tech in terms of Ratchet's literally dimension warping all over the place as part of the gameplay. I've never seen a physical part of the hardware worked into the gameplay. I mean, I guess we have the Wii is practically that, but it was just literally we wanted to include this dimension warping inside of a game just to show how
Yeah.
fast things load.
I think it was showing off the speed of the SSD. That's what it
Yep,
was supposed to be doing. Yeah.
yep. And that was kind of it for the first part of the show, like the first 5 or 10 minutes. And after that, we had a bunch of indie games, I think. And I'm just gonna say what I like because I don't know if you watched any of the indie stuff or just like looked at any of them. But Kenna looks really good. Looks like a little fun indie game. There's Stray, which is about a cat, and we don't know anything else. I'm just saying it's a cat game.
Mhm.
And after that, there was the Little Devil Inside or Devil Inside or something. That one looked really. I think there was a lot of little creative, cute games in there that were also just by their right good, fun games. We had a game from the Super Brothers who did a Sword and Sorcery. So that was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I was like, dang, like I still don't know what that game looks like in terms of what I'll be doing day to day, just flying around a ship or something to planets. I don't know, but I love Sword and Sorcery, so I'm about that. And after that, we just had an onslaught of okay, this is what you probably were expecting to see more of. We had Demon's Souls, which we kind of knew was coming. Not Bloodborne. We don't. No, not Bloodborne. And I forgot about Gran Turismo for a reason. It's Gran Turismo. Sackboy. Did you expect the Sackboy game?
No, not at all.
I don't think anyone expected a Sackboy game. It was random as heck. And
Yeah.
I like Sackboy. I have nothing against Sackboy, but I thought he was dead.
Can't kill a sack.
You can't kill a sack. You can't kill a Sackboy
Sure, yeah.
unless you burn him. And that's very gruesome. And yeah, so House Marquee. If you played I'm Alienation or Dead Nation and I'm blanking on another one of the games that was all about the voxels. All about the voxels. It's a PS4 launch title, but anyways, Returnal, which is
It's a weird name. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, what?
Part of me just thought Doom Eternal, but yeah, you're playing a person who's trapped in a time loop of some sort. They die and they keep coming back, and it combines a lot of their strengths. I think third person shooting. They're usually top down third person shooting, well, top down shooter, but yeah. Anyways, looks pretty interesting. A little weird, but interesting. And I'm gonna skip over Destruction All Stars. Astrobot. I think what we can kind of learn is that there's no Knack this year. Knack is gone.
Oh yeah, that's too bad. I would have loved to see a Knack
3.
3.
Yeah. Knack 3 is
Yeah.
gone, so Knack
Yeah.
Knack is no longer in competition for the kids and family launch title spot. And then after that we had our what we really came to see, and that was, Horizon 2, and then Capcom bringing out Village, aka Resident Evil 8, and then what the heck is the Capcom original IP called? Promethea, I think.
I don't know.
Pragmatic, fudge.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. I totally forgot.
I don't know. I'm like scrolling up a page and I'm like, I don't know what. I think it's called Pragmata or Prag something. But anyways, that game happened, and then also Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh yeah, we saw footage of that. Huh? That's pretty
We
cool.
actually saw footage of that, and then Project Athea, which was a little bit earlier. The Square Enix unknown title that had the most generic text in a world where literally it starts with "in a world where," and I'm done.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I'm done. Only you can save. I was like, really, guys? So, anyways, Deathloop as well. I got to give a shout out to Deathloop. That was a lot of games. I just went down a bunch of games. Not all of these are just going to be exclusive, of course. A good chunk of them, I think there are 8 of them that are exclusive. But overall, like, what did you come away with? And you can talk from the console unveiling if you want to as well. So games or console.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't really into it for the, like, here's the thing about the game lineup is like, they're mostly cool, but I'm not excited about them. Like, I think the coolest thing for me is like the Demon's Souls remaster, because I saw comparison shots of the PS3 version and the remake, and it looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so insane. Like,
it's crazy
how different the environments are. I've never played like Demon's Souls, but I've seen people play it. I've seen streams of it. I've seen videos of it, and I was like, "Oh, that game looks okay. That's a video game." But then, looking at the comparison shots now, like the original suddenly looks so barren and like
and just
not
devoid.
Not a good game anymore. Like, it just doesn't look as good. Like, suddenly when you have these screenshots of the remake, and it's like environments are filled out. There's like vegetation growing around here. The rocks have like a nice like realistic texture to them. Like all the enemies are redesigned. Like, it looks so good. So that's what I'm excited about. But I mean, honestly, like, I've never played a Ratchet and Clank game. I super don't care about GTA 5. Like, especially this is the 4th time the game came out. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's crazy. Why is that existing?
Yeah, PS3, PS4, PC, and then now PS5, and also Xbox, right? But still.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I really paid attention to was the console unveiling, like the actual look of the console. Because I was like, that's the one thing that I really wanted to know. I was the most curious about the how the console would look, and I had this discussion with a friend of mine of how a lot of people care about how a console looks.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because
Still
like,
play the games. You're still gonna buy it for the games, right?
yeah, and it's not like I'm gonna be playing a game and then look over and be like, yeah, that's my baby. Like I'm not gonna look at my console while I'm playing it.
It's kind of like if you're looking at your PC tower, just like, and then
Yeah,
look back over to your game screen.
that's the exact same thing.
Like, it's
That's
just
the
there.
exact same thing, right? So I built my PC and actually I put a lot of like thought into the aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
I picked out the case. I picked out like the particular cooler that I use because it has like a screen on it and it has like lights on it. I picked out the lights of my case. I put a lot of thought into my case, but then when I'm playing a game, I'm not like, looking at it and being like,
Yeah, you're not looking over.
yeah, there,
it,
that's my baby. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what it looks like.
and I mean, like, so for me, I had a positive reaction to it. I know, I thought it looked nice. I thought it looked different. It really does look like it is very futuristic. I have to say their design team was like, we want some future. We want you to be in like a if I was in a high rise apartment and there was a clear glass window and I have this, my TV is there and this thing is sitting there. It looks perfectly normal, right? But for most normal people, we don't have white as like a
It's like a general theme.
It's a general theme. No one's got
most
like
people
white
do.
tables.
Most electronics are black.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it won't blend in anywhere. But and I saw people saying it's like a router sandwich in between a case, and then I realized, it does look like a router sandwich in between a case.
I think a lot of people have described it as like what people in the 90s imagined what computers would look like in the future.
Yeah.
Like it has that retro future look to it.
It does.
Yeah. So the only thing that I'm concerned about a little bit is the size of the console. Like people have done, I guess, let's say investigative work where because the version of the PS5 that has the CD drive, the optical drive.
Okay.
So people have taken like console product images and like used the optical drive as like the benchmark. So they resized all of the the product images so that the disk drive is the same size.
Okay.
And what they found was when you take the disk drive as the normalization part, benchmark, it's a very big console. It's like bigger than every console basically.
It's a giant. I saw it today, and I saw that chart you're talking about, and I'm just like, what?
It's tall. It's taller. It's like 1.3 or 1.4 times taller than the PS3 Fat.
It's bigger than the PS4 Pro, and I'm like, I don't want anything bigger than that thing. I was like, oh my goodness. And the Xbox Series X looks like a mini dwarf or something. Like it's just half size.
It's much bigger than every console.
So it has me thinking, and I'm kind of wondering, because they haven't released the actual size, right? There's no actual size released.
Yeah, so either the disk drive is bigger for some reason, or I don't know, smaller. Like it's the CD, like it's not a normal drive, or I don't know, like it's wrong basically. Like
it would be really weird if they went bigger, because every generation, I guess technically they've gotten bigger, but ever since at least PS3, it's kind of felt like somewhat similar size. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it definitely.
Well, I don't know.
Like
the PS3 Fat is actually a fat console.
Oh, it is actually fat. It's not so much tall, but it is fat.
It's chunky. Yeah, it's really wide.
It's a chunk.
But like the PS5 is both taller and thicker.
Please, it cannot be. Please, just don't let it be. Just don't let it be like some kind of case that
I'm worried because like where I have my PS4 Pro, it fits perfectly on my shelf. Like it fits very nicely, and it's not that tall either. It's like 20 centimeters. It's not that tall.
Yeah. Is yours standing up, or you do have it horizontal?
I have horizontal.
Okay. Which this design, we know you can put it horizontally. Does not look like you want to put it horizontally.
Yeah, it's weird. That's really weird horizontal. But the problem is like if I have it vertical, it won't fit like
anywhere.
It won't fit in a shelf. It'll fit on like a TV rack, or it'll fit on some kind of stand or something, but it won't fit in a shelf if it's vertical. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And going back on that, I don't remember, and maybe I'll go back and look and see. It doesn't. I don't know if it says anything about this is like a final design.
Oh no,
All
I
that's
think
a
that's
render.
final.
It's all
Got to be
it's
final.
all a render. But based on this feedback, and we don't know the actual size. No one's ever seen it. If they'll make any kind of changes,
I don't know. Like, what would they?
that'd be the
What could
interesting
they
thing.
do at this point? The console's supposed to launch in like what, 4 months?
Yeah, we can assume that the router is literally all we need, and then the rest is just nice design airflow tech.
Oh, apparently they are investing a lot in airflow, which would be pretty cool. No pun intended, but like that's good to see. That's good to see that they're really considering airflow in this design here.
Well, hey, when you have a bunch of space to take up, you know, you got to use it. Got to use it appropriately. Got to use
Yeah,
it
maybe
appropriately.
that's why it's so big, because maybe they're like, oh, we need to cool this thing properly. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll find out, and we know that there's probably going to be another event sometime in the next month after, because Xbox is supposed to do their event this month, or is it July, June, July, June?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's kind of staggered, so we'll see what happens, and we still don't even know the price. No, Sony did not say a price on this thing.
What's your bet?
I mean, after PS3, they can go the sky's the limit, but since PS4, they kind of decided to lowball it a little bit, put it at an affordable price. And we even have, like, this time we have a discless version. We don't know if that's going to be a cheaper or the same price, but there's a discless version. So maybe if we're looking, I'll say 449 and 499.
Oh, really? I'm gonna say 4.99 for discless, and I'm gonna say 5.99
Damn,
for
OG
for the
PS3
one with the
price.
optical disc. Yeah.
Ooh. I bought
I
insurance
think
on my original PS3.
I
That
think
shit was
part of the
$200.
reason I think part of the reason why they sold the PS4 cheaper
Mhm.
is because at that time they were really going after Microsoft.
They really were. Now they
They
have
were,
such a comfortable lead. It's not even
yeah,
like a
and now they
question.
have now they're number one. The tables have turned.
And
So
I think a lot of people kind of realize it a little bit more now in terms of the internal studios. They might not know the studios' names. They might not know PlayStation Worldwide Studios or whatever, but they know that shit, Last of Us and Uncharted, and they know all of these IPs that they're like that really came into their own on PlayStation 4 and even like, Persona 5, those exclusive kind of things that were only on PlayStation that really had a lot of people like, oh, well, yeah, Xbox, what you got for me?
yeah, they can charge. They can be a little more. I don't want to say ballsy, like the opposite of ballsy. Like they can be like they can do it and get away
Mhm.
with it, maybe. Because at
Yeah.
the time, because they were struggling. Like Sony was struggling against the 360 for a while,
For a
and
long, yeah.
yeah, for almost the entire console generation. And I think they were being really aggressive when the PS4 was announced, because they were, you remember this, were like, oh, here's how you share games with a friend. You just do it. Like they were really digging into Xbox at the time, right?
Yeah, yeah. They just did like some.
So
Their marketing was really good. A lot of fun, not interesting, but just fun. Not trailers, but just marketing gimmicks. They were just like embracing their fans, and you saw it. Like even with the unveiling of Shenmue 3, right? And then before that was Final Fantasy 7 remake. They were just basically like, "Hey guys, we got it now. We got you. There's no limit for playing," or whatever their new slogan is. Play has
yeah,
no
so
limit. So I don't know.
I think they can they can think they can get away with a more expensive console price.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say 4.99 and 5.99 for the two versions.
And I think this time around, people are expecting a little bit more, and they're okay paying more. Number one, because a lot of us now who are gamers who didn't have as much money back when the 360
Oh
or
yeah, like
we do have income
the
now.
what is it? The demographic of gamers has aged. So
Yeah. So
we
we're
have
knowledgeable.
like money, like the general demographic just as a whole has more money now.
Yeah. So if it's a 600, I think people will kind of hold off a little bit, and I think people will kind of share your sentiment. And we can kind of go like, what do you think are going to be launch games? Like, what do you think? What do you call them for some launch games?
Is everything that was announced, those are not launch games?
No, they didn't say anything what's launching. I'm saying just from looking at all the trailers, what looks pretty far ahead. Horizon, I think Forbidden West is going to be launched because
I think,
that is a tent pole, and
okay.
they have a lot of. It looks like they had a lot of gameplay stuff, and not gameplay, but just it looked really done. And I assume that team has been working on it for a while. I think we'll see Demon's Souls remastered is also being a launch title. So then it's been like PS3 and PS4 PS3 and PS5 kind of launch title. Be kind of cool. I don't know if we're gonna get Ratchet, or if we're gonna get Sackboy, or if we're gonna get the Astrobots, or if we're going to get Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's gonna tie into Into the Spider-Verse 2 whenever that comes out. Not in terms of story, but just promotion and marketing. It's either gonna come out before or during.
Oh, usually it's before, is it not? Like usually a month or two before?
It's a month or two before, so it depends when they want to put that out. I think that'll be there. And I don't think we're going to get Village. That new Capcom IP is God knows how far away. Square Enix is, what do you call that? Project Athea. We'll get that maybe 3 years from now if we're lucky. We will see Gran Turismo. I believe Gran Turismo 7 is definitely going to be a launch title. They typically launch PlayStations with Gran Turismo whenever they can. And I guess technically Grand Theft Auto 5. Fudge. Well, that's it. That's all I can honestly see at the moment. And oh yeah, God. What is that game called again?
God Tier. Not God Hand, right?
Not God Hand.
Godfall.
I think we'll see Godfall since that's the first title that was unveiled, period, for PS5. So as long as barring nothing happens, I think that's a good solid 7 games. And all you really need is Horizon to really be that game that people gravitate towards.
We don't know if Japan will get the PS5 at the same time, because we saw this with the PS4, where the PS4 launched in North America and Europe before Japan. Japan didn't get the PS4 until February the next year.
True.
So we don't know if we'll see a repeat of that, where Japan won't get the console for like another 6 or 8 months down the line.
That'll be interesting. Only due to the fact that, and I know you were talking about this, like, nothing really interests you. There's not really a lot of games here that are something that besides like Demon Souls, and maybe like a segment will be down for Horizon, because it is a very beloved title, but it's still kind of niche. There's nothing really that screams like, hey, Japan, we got some IPs for you. And we haven't seen anything from Sega. We haven't seen anything from Konami. A lot of people were thinking maybe a Silent Hill remake or something might be there. And like you said, they might delay it and have a better launch lineup for the Japanese market.
Hey, let me see what the Japanese PS4 launch titles were. So I'm typing into the good old Googles. So here is the Japanese PS4 launch title, which is like 6 to 8, whatever. Like how many months? Anyways, after the North American launch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Japan got Assassin's Creed 4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Doki Doki Universe, Dream Club, Drive Club, Dynasty Warriors 8, FIFA 14, Final Fantasy 14, a beta version of it actually, Hokokum, which okay, great, fine, Killzone Shadowfall, Natural Doctrine, Puzzle 4 Sudoku, Totemo E Mahjong Plus, Resogun, Strider, Watch Dogs, and Yakuza Ishin. Yuga Gotoku Ishin. So not a really good launch title for Japanese games, yeah.
Not a really good launch. I was going to say House Marquee was Resogun. Thanks for reminding me. But that's, like, besides Yakuza, like...
for Japanese games, it was Yakuza, Totemo E Mahjong, Natural Doctrine, FF14, let's say, Dynasty Warriors, which is, what's that called in, Musou, it's like a Musou game, and Dream Club. Those are the Japanese games.
That's not really worth holding out. It's pretty
no
bad.
I just don't think that's really great at all. So I bought a PS4 at launch in Japan, and the game that I got was Yakuza, because that was like the best Japanese launch game.
That's clearly the winner.
So I got Yakuza, and then pretty much didn't really play my PS4 until actual good games came out for it. I'm not saying it's a bad game; it's a great game, but you know what I mean. Like
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
I just did not need to buy the console at launch,
and
that's also already after the North American launch.
Yeah, and a lot of those games were just a lot of shooter-centric games. I will say, from looking at the show and what Sony did show, there is a lack of shooters. There's about 2 shooters in the entire of what they showed. There's about 2 shooters. Deathloop being one of those shooters, which it's still kind of cartoony-ish, really cool concept. You know, it's still kind of playing on like coming back from the dead, going back, being in a time loop, but it's got a comedic feel to it. And it's not just, you know, military shooter kind of thing. And a lot of the games Sony showed, you're not going to feel a lot of peaks, right?
I think we're also they haven't announced them for PS5, but we'll probably also see the new Call of Duty game on PS5 at launch.
That makes sense, yeah. New Call of Duty. We'll have NBA 2K1. So
yeah,
have
all the fall
games.
shooters are basically also going to be on PS5, I'm assuming.
Yep. We'll have, so they'll have a nice rounded out launch title list, no matter where they go to, as long as they, you know, they'll have their first party on lock, I think, and then they'll have the third party fill in the rest. So we'll see when it launches. When do you think it's going to launch? Is it did they say November, October?
I don't know. They announced a month, actually. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say November, maybe, just to get in stores before Christmas.
Oh man, I want to say like some random version of January for some reason, which is completely messed up. They always launch in November, so we can't assume that they're ever going to go October or December or something like that, because that's suicide. We don't know, like with COVID, how all this stuff is going to go down. But I think if we see a delayed, maybe January. But if not, yeah, November seems like a good one.
Well, I mean, they said like it's on track for 2020, so
I don't trust them. I'm just playing. Well, we don't know how any of that's working. We don't know how PlayStation Plus is going to work. We don't know the interface. We got a lot of stuff to see. A lot of stuff is going to be unveiled, and I know we're both looking forward to it. And I think that's it, really, for this show.
Yeah.
I
think so.
It's pretty good. One day I'll stop saying and I'll become a super great host.
You should get a shock collar, so every time you say you just get shocked.
Oh, that's horrible. Wait, does that work like that?
I don't know. Maybe. That'd be funny, though.
That's scary. But if you want to play a drinking game or a safe game of drinking Coca-Cola every time I say the word well, then you can have your fun every episode until finally you don't have any fun at all, which means I've become a better person and a better host. Until then, enjoy your drinks and enjoy more episodes of the Unknown Game Podcast. The Unknown Games Podcast. Dang. Alex, anything you want to say? Take it away for the end.
No. I don't know. Go buy Persona, I guess.
And there you have it. You no longer have to buy Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross. Just go buy Persona 4 Golden or Persona 5 R Royal.
Sure, yeah.
I'm stumbling over half my words. Once again, you can find us on the Twitter feed or Twitter and Instagram at UGP_cast. And you can also find us on YouTube if you want to tell your friends who like just listening to the podcast on YouTube. You can find us at Unknown Games Podcast. We have our older episodes up there, and we're continuing to upload weekly. So definitely check us out there. Give us a shout out, and also continue. Leave a voice message if you want to. We'd love to hear from you on anchor.fm/UGPcast. You'll have the kind of voice message button up there, so you can just leave us a voice message or a review on iTunes. We'll take either or both. Yeah, and that's it. See you next week for episode number 38 of the Unknown Games Podcast. And remember, whatever you do, wherever you are, remember to put out something good into the world. Enjoy your life, enjoy games, and go play a game called Life.
Yeah.
Talk to you next time.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Go play a game called Life, like the game of life, the board game.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Hey, Adrian, never thought about making a podcast?
All the time, except for we are already making a podcast.
No, but I mean like a different one, maybe a better one.
Sure.
Yeah. So I was on the internet. I was trying to figure out like what's the best host for a podcast, or pretty much how can I make a podcast? And I think I settled on Anchor.
We're already using Anchor, buddy.
Wait, are you serious? Are we actually?
I'm actually serious because it's free. And of course, we're on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and like Google Podcasts, and so many other places.
Wait, how
Super
do we
easy.
do that though?
Anchor did that for us.
Oh, just like automatically, right? Anchor
Yeah.
will just distribute your podcast for like free?
Exactly. Wait, I thought you did the research.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of did, but I do know that Anchor will help you make money from a podcast. Cash money, cash money.
Cash money grabs. Exactly. That's how we're making money right now, I think.
Absolutely. Like
Recording
right at this very moment.
at this very moment with this sponsorship.
Well, I mean, also Anchor has some pretty cool creation tools that let you record and also edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Because I know you got one of those, probably.
I do have a computer, but I don't have a phone.
Well, whatever. You can still make a podcast because in 2020, there's no reason why anyone shouldn't have a podcast.
Everyone deserves a voice. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Anchor is just everything you need to make a podcast, but just all in one place. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Enjoy the show, everyone. Thanks for listening.